Every town has that one person, the one parents warn their children about, the one nobody sits next to, the one people glance at, then immediately look away. For the people of Ashmere, that man was Gideon Voss. If you asked anyone under 50 what he had done, nobody could tell you. But everyone knew he was dangerous. He lived alone beyond the old stone bridge in a house surrounded by dead trees. He never attended festivals, never smiled, never accepted visitors. Every morning, exactly at sunrise, he would walk into Blackwood Forest carrying a shovel. Every evening, exactly at sunset, he returned carrying an empty one. Nobody ever followed him twice, because according to local stories, the last person who did never came back. Now tell me honestly, if someone in your town did that every single day, wouldn't you be curious too? 18-year-old Elias definitely was. Unlike everyone else, he hated rumors. He wanted proof. So one cold October morning, long before sunrise, he quietly followed Gideon into the forest. At first it seemed disappointingly normal. They crossed streams, climbed rocky paths, past ancient trees older than memory itself. Then Gideon suddenly stopped. Without looking behind him, he spoke. "You've been following me for 43 minutes." Elias froze. "You step heavier with your left foot." The old man still hadn't turned around. If you wanted answers, you could have asked. Instead of running, Elias stepped forward. Everyone expected Gideon to explode with anger. Instead, he sighed. "You'll regret seeing this." Then he continued walking. An hour later, they reached a clearing. In the center stood hundreds of wooden crosses. No names, no dates, nothing, just endless rows. Gideon quietly dug another hole, then planted another empty cross. Elias couldn't contain himself. "What are these?" Gideon stared silently across the field. "People who haven't died yet." The words landed like ice. Elias laughed nervously. The old man didn't. Back in Ashmere, Elias told nobody. Who would believe him? But something strange began happening. Every few days another cross appeared, and every few days someone died. Sometimes illness, sometimes accidents, sometimes impossible coincidences. The newest cross always matched the newest death. Soon Elias couldn't sleep. Was Gideon predicting death or causing it? The rumors only grew darker. A merchant disappeared. A hunter vanished. A child claimed she saw Gideon talking to shadows. One baker swore he watched blackbirds circle Gideon's roof every midnight. The town council finally decided enough was enough. He needs to be arrested. Nobody volunteered. Nobody except Sheriff Rowland. And even Rowland looked terrified. The arrest happened on market day. Half the town secretly watched from windows. Rowland approached carefully. Gideon Voss. No response. "I have authority to search your property." Still nothing. Then Gideon quietly unlocked his own front door. "Go ahead." Inside, there was almost nothing. No hidden bodies, no strange rituals, no stolen valuables, just books, maps, candles, and one enormous wall covered in names. Thousands of names, every single one crossed out, except 37. Rowland's own name was among them. He slowly backed away. By sunset, half the town believed even more firmly that Gideon was a murderer. The other half thought he was insane. 3 nights later, someone knocked on Elias's bedroom window. It wasn't Gideon. It was Gideon's dog, an enormous scarred wolfhound carrying a folded piece of paper. Only 5 words were written. "Come now. Bring nobody else." Elias followed. Inside Gideon's house, the old man looked exhausted. Far older than before. He slid an ancient leather journal across the table. I don't have much time. Inside were entries spanning over 70 years. The handwriting slowly changed with age. The first page contained one sentence. They must never cross the bridge. Nothing else. Page after page described impossible events. Floods, fires, disappearances, entire families erased overnight, always one common detail. Someone had crossed the old bridge after midnight. Elias frowned. This makes no sense. Gideon nodded. It doesn't. Then he whispered something that made Elias' blood run cold. I've been dead for 30 years. Silence. The candle flickered. Elias stared. Gideon simply waited. Finally he spoke again. My body died. My job didn't. According to the journal, centuries ago something had been trapped beneath Blackwood Forest. Nobody knew what. Nobody knew who imprisoned it. Only that every generation, one guardian inherited the responsibility. Never let anyone cross the bridge after midnight. Never explain why. Because knowledge itself attracted it. People called guardians monsters, witches, murderers, madmen. Every generation hated them. Every generation survived because of them. Elias wanted proof. He got it the same night. Just before midnight, Gideon led him to the bridge. Fog rolled across the river. Everything became silent. No insects. No birds. Even the wind disappeared. Then, footsteps. Not approaching, already there. Shapes slowly emerged inside the mist. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Human outlines. None touched the ground. One woman looked directly at Elias. She wore no face, only smooth, pale skin. Then every figure turned together. Toward the village. Gideon stepped into the center of the bridge. For the first time, his voice thundered. You are not invited. Every shadow instantly stopped. The river beneath them began moving backwards. The temperature dropped so quickly ice formed across the stones. One child-shaped figure took another step. Gideon slammed the shovel into the bridge. Every ghost vanished. Instantly. The silence returned. Elias couldn't breathe. The next morning, Gideon was gone. His house stood empty. The wolfhound sat alone outside. Inside the journal lay one final note. If you're reading this, they've chosen you. Elias laughed, then noticed something strange. His reflection wasn't following him. For just 1 second, it looked toward the forest. Days passed. Nothing happened. Then one evening, while walking home, a little girl tugged his sleeve. Mister, she pointed toward the old bridge. A smiling man was waving from the other side. Perfectly ordinary. Perfectly friendly. Elias had never seen him before. The little girl started walking toward him. Instinctively, Elias grabbed her hand. The smiling stranger stopped waving. Very slowly. His smile widened impossibly far, far beyond any human face. Then he vanished. Weeks later, the town gathered again. A new rumor spread. People whispered about a dangerous young man living near the bridge. Children were warned not to speak to him. Merchants crossed the street to avoid him. Nobody remembered Gideon anymore. Now they feared Elias. At sunrise, he walked into Blackwood Forest carrying a shovel. At sunset, he returned carrying an empty one, and if anyone ever asked what he was doing, he always gave the exact same answer. I hope you never find out. Final line. The real monster was never the man everyone feared. The real monster was the reason he never let anyone else become one.